The most expensive thing about a Taylor Swift show isn't Taylor Swift. It isn't the lights, or the fireworks, or the stage that rises out of the floor. The single most expensive thing about the biggest concert tour in history is something the 90,000 people in that stadium never see. And it's already on the road to the next city before the encore even ends. So what does it really cost to put one of these shows on stage? Chose TDLAs, TTHEDN coast, OFEVRYTHING start with the scale. The Eras Tour grossed over $2 billion, the highest grossing tour in history by a distance. 140, 9 shows, 5 continents in under 2 years. But forget the gross for a second, because that's the money coming in. We're asking a different question, the money going out, to make the lights come on for one single night. And the answer only makes sense once you stop thinking of this as a concert. It's a city of 2,000 people, a power grid, and a custom-built structure the size of a building. That has to vanish and reappear somewhere new, again and again and again. Let's start with what you can see, because it is genuinely staggering. The stage is not furniture. It's a machine, a runway over 90 feet long, a giant LED floor that plays video under the dancer's feet, hydraulic lifts, a platform that lets her appear to dive into the stage and vanish. A custom stadium stage of this class, built, automated, rigged, costs tens of millions of dollars. Call it 25 to 40 million to build. That's the part you came for. And here's the twist that runs through this entire episode, that part, the spectacle, the thing on the poster, is the cheap half of the bill. Because a stage is only worth building if it can be in the right city on the right night. And this one had to be in dozens of cities, across 5 continents, on a calendar with almost no slack. So the production moves on something like 50 to 90 articulated trucks per show. That's not a convoy. That's a freight company that happens to follow a singer around the planet. Diesel drivers, customs paperwork, and on the ocean crossings. Air and sea freight that costs more than the stage earns in some markets. And here's the move that tells you everything. To never miss a night. To perform in London while the next leg builds in Tokyo. A tour this size doesn't ship one stage. It builds the stage more than once. Identical sets, leapfrogging the globe, so one can rise in front of a crowd, while its twin is still in pieces, in trucks, in a city where not a single ticket holder is watching yet. You are paying, without knowing it, for a spectacle being assembled in an empty room on the other side of the world. Then, there's the part that actually does the moving the people. A stadium show doesn't run on the dozen faces you see on stage. It runs on hundreds who travel with the tour, riggers, automation techs, audio and lighting and video engineers, wardrobe, pyro, the band, the dancers, security, logistics. And then, in every single city, the tour hires hundreds more local hands to lift it all in and out. Stack the traveling crew on top of the local crews, and you're paying close to $1 million in wages for one night. How big is that bill? Big enough that when the tour ended, Swift reportedly handed out around $5 million in bonuses to the crew. $5 million, as a thank you. That single tip is larger than the entire gross of most artists' whole tours. The people are not a footnote on this bill. They are the bill. Everything else a city needs, this one carries too. Power, banks of generators, feeding a building's worth of light and sound. Pyrotechnics and CO2, burned and gone every night. 250 plus costumes, maintained and duplicated so nothing is ever missing. And the unglamorous lines that make any mega event possible, the stadium rent itself. Often $500,000 to $1 million a night. Insurance against weather, illness, a canceled show. Security for 90,000 people. The opening acts. Added up, and the running cost of the city, venue, security, insurance, power, consumables, lands around $1.5 million every night. Before she sings a note. So let's answer the real question. Forget the gross. Forget what she earns. What does it cost just to put one of these shows on stage? The stage, amortized across the tour, around $400,000 a night. Freight and transport, about $450,000. Crew, $900,000. Power, pyro, costumes, $300,000. Venue insurance, security, support, $850,000. Put it together, and the cost to stage a single heiress show is around $3 million. But here's the number that actually matters. Of that $3 million, the stage and the lights and the pyro, the show itself, is the smaller share. Roughly 2/3 of the bill is payroll and freight. The cost of moving it and manning it. Not making it. You came for the spectacle. You paid for the convoy. The most expensive thing about the biggest show on earth was never the show. It was the small city it takes to teleport that show across the planet. The trucks you didn't see. The crew you'll never meet. And a stage being built, right now, in a city where the encore hasn't even been imagined yet. That is the hidden cost of a Taylor Swift show. The moment the last firework fades, the real machine starts, taking the city apart, loading the trucks, and chasing the next horizon. $3 million a night. And most of it isn't the show, it's the road. A tour so big it had to build the stadium twice. A crew so essential to thank, you alone ran $5 million. The performance is what you remember. The logistics are what you actually bought a ticket to. That's the thing about a show like this. The price of the ticket buys you the spectacle. But the real cost is everything built, moved, and torn down in the dark so the spectacle could simply appear, perfect, on time, as if it had always been there. That's what we do here. We find the bill that isn't on the receipt for the things you thought you already understood. Next time, a single Formula One season. 2. And why the cars are the cheapest thing on the grid.